How's it, grade 10s? Today we're going on to special angles, working from slides 45 to 48 from the Trig PowerPoint. Okay, so what are these special angles? Your special angles are going to be 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90 degrees. And how I do it is I use these little triangles to help me. There are other methods which I don't mind you using. There's the fan and the table method. They all work. So it's up to you which one you want to use. So how do we do this triangle here? Well, this bottom angle here will be 60 degrees. The top one will be 30. And obviously that is 90. And how we do this grade 10s, we count 1, 2, 3. And I make this one a square root. So that's our one set of special angles, 60 and 30. Our other one is 45 degrees. So we've got 45, 45, and this one goes, because this side is equal to this goes 1, 1, root 2. Okay, so let's go through it again. 60, 30, 1, 2, root 3, 1, 1, 45, 45, root 2. And what we do is we use these things to help us find the values of these types of questions here. Okay, so I just want you guys to highlight your special angles. We have 30, 60, and 45. Okay, so let's have a look here. Cos in terms of opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse is, remember what you're saying is silly old hens cackle and heckle. So it is adjacent, hypotenuse. All right. So we go to 30 degrees. That's what they're asking here. 30 degrees, adjacent, hypotenuse. So your adjacent side here is root 3. So this would be root 3 over the hypotenuse is 2 plus. Now we're looking at sine 60, which is over here. So you remember what it is? Silly old hens. So it's opposite hypotenuse. So that one is root 3 over 2. Okay. So root 3 over 2 plus root 3 over 2 is 2 root 3 over 2. Those 2's will cancel and you're left with root 3. And that is our final solution for that one. All right. Let's have a look at this tan 30 plus cosec 60. Tan is, remember, silly old hens, cackle and heckle till old age. So opposite over hypotenuse. So we go to where 30 degrees is, and it's opposite, which is 1, over adjacent, which is root 3. So that is tan 30 plus. Now cosec is not part of that little rhyme, but we know that cosec and sine are reciprocals. So if sine of an angle is silly old hens, that means that cosec is the reciprocal of this, so that's h over o. Okay, so let's find out what sine is of 60. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so cosec will be the reciprocal of that, so that will be 2 over root 3. Okay, so 1 over root 3 plus 2 over root 3 gives us 3 over root 3. And that's our solution for that one. All right, so these examples here worked with this triangle. The next example we're going to work with is that 45-degree one. Okay, so we have tan 45 plus sine 45. I'm just going to draw up my little triangle. Remember that is 45, 45, and how do we do this? We go 1, 1, root 2. Now grade 10, you're probably thinking, well, which 45 do we use? That one or that one? it doesn't make a difference. They're going to give you the same answer. So I always work just with this one here. So tan, in terms of adjacent opposite hypotenuses, silly old hens, cackle and hackle till old age. Opposite over adjacent. So here's our 45. Opposite is 1. And adjacent is 1. Plus, sine is silly old hens. Opposite over hypotenuse. So 45, opposite is 1. And hypotenuse is root 2. Okay, so we get here 1 over 1 plus 1 over root 2. If I get an LCD of root 2, that becomes root 2 plus 1. Okay, just got our LCD and then add numerators. Right, let's look at the next one. Now sec, we know that sec is the reciprocal for cos. So we know that cos theta is equal to silly old hens, cackle and hackle. All right, that means that sec will be the reciprocal for that. So that's h over a. So that's for that one. Then we've got another one, which is cot, and cot is the reciprocal for tan. So tan theta is equal to silly old hens, cackle and hackle till old age. So that means that cot will be the reciprocal of that, which is a over o. All right, so I'm going to be using these two here. So we've got our sec 45. So what I'm going to do is look for what cos is. So that is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's 1 over root 2. But sec is the reciprocal, so that's going to be root 2 over 1. Multiplied by cot 45. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find tan. So that is opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over 1. Find the reciprocal, which is also 1 over 1. So root 2 times 1 is root 2. 1 times 1 is just 1, and that gives us the final answer of root 2. Okay, now we're going to go on to our other special angles, which is 0 and 90. And what I want you to remember, grade 10s, is just this little thing over here. So if we have 0 degrees over here, we're going to have the coordinate 1, 0, where x is 1 and y is 0. Okay, and over here at 90 we have 0, 1, so x is 0 and our y is 1. What I also want you to know is that your r value equals 1. Okay, so we have xy value at 0, we have xy value at 90, and we have an r value of 1. So with these type of ones, I want you to use x, y, and r. So over here, we've got cos 0. Now, we know that cos, in terms of x, y, and r, is shelter your rears cos x rays. So we know that's x over r times sine is shelter your rear. Now, just remember that they're dealing with two different angles. We have a 0 and a 90. So for this one over here, I'm going to look at 0 degrees, which is there. What is my x value at 0? It is 1. So that'll be 1 over, what is our r value? Our r value is 1. Multiplied by, now I'm looking at 90 degrees, which is over here. What is my y value at 90? It's 1. Over, what is our r value? It is 1. So we have 1 times 1 gives us 1. Okay, let's have a look at this one now. So tan in terms of x, y, and r is shelter your rear because x-rays, tan your exterior. And we're looking at 90 degrees. What is our y value at 90? It's 1. What is our x value at 90? It is 0. 1 divided by 0 is undefined, grade 10. So tan at 90 is not defined. Right, let's have a look at these ones now. Now we're dealing with reciprocals, so we have cosec and sec. Now just remember that cosec is the reciprocal for sine. So sine theta equals shelter your rear. So that means that cosec will be equal to r over y. And the other one we've got here is sec. So we have sec theta, or sorry, let me do sec is for cos. So let me change this to cos theta is equal to cos x rays. So that means that sec theta equals r over x. Okay, so this would be equal to cosec is r over y minus sec is r over x. Right, this one's looking at 90 degrees, so I'm looking over here. What is our r value at 90? Well, it's 1. So r is always 1 over. What is my y value at 90? It is 1 minus. Now we're looking at 0 degrees. What is our r value? It is 1. And what is our x value at 0? It is 1. So 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 is 0. Okay. Moving on to the last example. Now the last example has got a combination of all of these. So I'm just going to draw up my little triangles again, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is. So you remember we go 60, 30, 1, 2, 3. Make that a square root. This one here, 1, 1, 45, root 2. Okay, and then we have the other one where it's 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 1, 0, 0, 1, and r is equal to 1. Okay, so we have cos, sine, and tan. Those ones we all know in terms of x, y, and r and all of that. So here we've got cos 45. So 45 is over here. Now cos, in terms of opposite adjacent hypotenuse, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent to 45 is 1. Hypotenuse is root 2. But now you need to be careful here, grade 10s, because that is squared. So this whole thing is squared. Plus sine 30. Now we're looking at 30 degrees. Sine in terms of adjacent opposite hypotenuse is silly old hens. Opposite hypotenuse. So 1 over 2. Minus tan 45. Silly old hens, cackle and heckle, till old age. Opposite over adjacent. So that's 1 over 1. Okay, this one here I can just quickly work out. 1 squared is 1. Root 2 squared is 2. Plus a half minus 1. A half plus a half is 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, last one, guys. So here I've got a reciprocal, and a reciprocal. What I want to do is I just want to find out what it is in terms of the adjacent opposite hypotenuse, so we don't get confused. So cosec is the reciprocal for sine. So we know that sine theta is equal to silly old hens. So that means that cosec is h over o. Okay, so we've done that one. Cot is tan. So we know that tan, silly old hens, cackle and hell, till old age. So that means that cot theta is a over o. And then we've got sec. Sec is cos. Let me do that over here. So we've got cos theta equals silly old hens, cackle and heckle. So that means that sec is h over a. All right, and then the other ones we can work out. So cosec 60. So we add 60 degrees, and cosec is h over o. So the hypotenuse over the opposite. So it's 2 over root 3. Multiplied by cot. Cot is a over o. and we're looking at 30. So A is adjacent, which is root 3, over O, which is opposite, which is 1. Plus sine 45. Sine is silly old hens. Opposite over hypotenuse. So 45 degrees, here we are. Opposite over hypotenuse, so that's 1 over root 2. Multiplied by sec. We said that sec was h over a, and we're looking at 45. So h is hypotenuse over a, which is adjacent, which is 1. So that's root 2 over 1. Plus, now we're going to be working with this one over here. Now, cos, in terms of x, y, and r, is Sheltie-Urrea because x rays. And we're looking at 0 degrees. So what's our x value at 0? It's 1 rays, which is r, which is 1. Okay. Now I can just work out what this is. The root 3 will cancel with the root 3, and we're left with 2 over 1. The root 2 will cancel with the root 2, and we're just left with 1 over 1 plus 1 over 1. So that's saying 2 plus 1 equals 4. All right, grade 10s. What I would like you to do is exercise 5.9, number 1 and 2 for me, please. Thank you.